Chrissy Foss.
Is that the one at the top of the hill?
It was a garment. Actually, her dad built it, and then Vic.
Yeah. What did something?
Well, he listed it 800.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the contract is.
No, they got a contract.
Oh, it's under contract. Yeah, it's under contract.
It's only been up for.
Oh, a couple days. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was under a week. Oh, this is Dale. Hey, Dale, how are you? Good. I'm sorry to bother you. Hey. Oh, okay. I'll make it very fast. I see two on this one bill for Advantech. I see the two $240 pump tests. I got that. Did they fix the phone or did they find the problem but not fix it? Okay. Okay. Oh, perfect.
Guys get your
Okay.
electrical box.
So then the other cost was to remove, rebuild, and reinstall the front discharge bumper.
Yeah.
Front discharge. Okay.
Not the appliances, though.
Okay. Perfect. That's all I
So
needed.
welcome, everyone. We're gonna start our meeting. And it is 7:36, 7:37, with the pledge and a devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we pray that you be with our employees, our fire, our road, our EMS, our zoning, and our fellow trustees and fiscal officer. Be with everyone as they work to do what's best for the township and as we move forward. Amen. All right, welcome to September 25th trustee meeting. And is there any changes on this agenda?
Add a executive session at the end with no action being taken after.
Okay.
Could we possibly move fire to the end of the meeting? Amy said she'll be back,
Sure,
if you don't mind.
we can do that.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Have you had a chance to review the minutes from 9/11?
Trustee Bureau moves to accept them as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You had a chance to review the treasurer's report?
Trustee Varian moves to accept as presented.
Trustee Bureau second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with that, we're going to move to public speaks. I don't see anyone here. So everything must be calm in the neighborhood. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move fire down later, so we'll come back to that. Cemetery report, do we have anything?
We do not.
No report. This is going great. And now we're to the road report. Superintendent Unkelfer.
Good evening, everybody. Our trustees have looked at the road report. Is there any questions you want to ask?
Have we picked up any of the loose stone off of those chip and seal
Nope.
roads?
Not yet.
Okay.
Barely had enough time here to have it kind of work to the edges and stuff.
We did that with a machine last year.
Yeah.
Did we find that that was lucrative or successful, or did we?
Well, we've done this several times.
Okay.
Through the same company that had a lot of trouble with them sending out trucks that broke down all the time.
Okay.
Then they finally sent out a good truck last year and we did.
So the VAC company is having a hard time keeping trucks.
Well, we did.
Okay.
Usually get quite a bit of gravel off.
I know.
No, I'm just talking.
Yeah, so do you feel like it's worth the money?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's times I've thought about checking in at different places like Leppo's or Caterpillar and looking to see if they have the
Do they run an
the
attachment?
sweeper, it pushes it, sweeps it into a bucket and you lift up, dump. I wonder if there's possibly something that we could do off the front of our backhoe, because we have the hookups for it.
Mhm.
If there's something compatible off the front of our backhoe, that we could just rent that.
Hmm.
And maybe we'd be able to go out and do more of the roads and get them all done.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was
And
asking
save more of our stone to
Use like.
stockpile, yeah.
Right.
on, where Westfall comes down off that hill and meets the county road,
Yep, I
that
know,
gravel's all over the
I
place.
know.
It's pretty slippery there
yep.
because it's all over the
I
brick.
know that's gonna happen and I'll have to deal with that when we sweep.
So educate me a little bit. Big bristle brush that rotates. It kicks it into a bucket that's
Yeah, it
attached.
sweeps it back into a bucket you attach into and everything, and you hook the lines up.
And then you would just come and
It
dump,
sweeps,
dump
instead
the
of
bug
sweeping
in.
outward like our
It
broom
sucks it
is,
in.
it's sucking it back this way into the
Okay.
bucket.
And then when you dump into a
You lift
dump
right up
truck,
and dump it into our dump trucks.
You probably pick the brush up and dump.
brush
Yeah, it
picks
the
up.
brush up, which kind of opens the bucket up. to let
Oh,
it
that's
down.
cool. That's cool.
They
Do
have
you
them on,
think
they have them
Level
on
rents that?
skidsters, I don't know, I can check into that. I mean, we're spending $3,000 every year and we don't really get to go that very far with that $3,000.
Well, you
Is
got
it-
more to spend now, and you also, I sent an email to you, Stu, just the other day on the company that wants our business to do all this. So I'm
Oh.
forwarding it right now to everybody, and it's gonna be on our Outlook here.
Okay,
It's a sweeping company. I don't know if they're any division of what we've been using, but it's the SCA. And I get this, it's Sweeping Corps of America, but they're out, this is the main headquarters.
that's Sweep Corps of America, that's what we were using out
But
of
this is the main headquarters
Yeah.
is coming out, and they're reaching out to us.
Oh,
They're not coming from the guy you got up here in that.
Louisville.
Yeah, it looks like this is like the main office. is
You
reaching
might
out
as
to.
well check and see what's with that, if they run it.
Stu, what is it? Is it a skid steer attachment on the front of your loader, or is it a different attachment? Is it like a skid steer plate or different?
It's probably different in a way. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know any of that until I go look and talk.
Okay. I didn't know if it,
That's something we can maybe look for,
But you have,
maybe
like,
towards
front-
next year or something.
you have central hydraulics out at the bucket. on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes,
Cool. Good.
yes.
Yeah. I think it's
We'll
worth
look
looking into.
it. Yeah.
They make adapter plates.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can convert from yours to
To
the
a-
skid loader attached.
Oh, got it.
That just snaps.
I feel like it's worth looking at, especially if,
Yeah. And then get a price from that company that he's
Yeah.
just sending you the email on. That one.
Yep.
good.
When they, actually, I got on his case a little bit last year because we were having so many breakdowns and wasn't getting anything done.
Right.
And they had to keep running back. And I says, we better not be getting charged for all this time coming out and coming back because you're breaking down all the time.
Yeah, right.
And we're not getting anything done. And he knew I wasn't happy. And that's when they finally took one of their good trucks, a really good one, newer one,
Yeah.
and brought it out. We didn't have no problem because nothing was breaking down on it.
Well, I would imagine if you could do what you want to do and it works, you could just buy the thing.
Exactly.
Like
It
you're-
might even be worth
It'd
maybe,
be cheaper.
buying that front attachment, we could go right on the front of our backhoe and go out and do stuff like that. That way we can get it all.
Do some price checking.
Yeah.
Last year, the last couple of years, we only went up to $3,000. So I had to just jump around to all the different intersections, like you said, try to get those cleaned up. So there's no problem with people stopping and sliding out into a road, another intersecting road. But yeah, I mean, maybe, Brian, maybe we'll have to talk to them again, this other corporate office, and see what they have to say.
You have extra money this year, you could do a lot more if you needed to. Because we didn't use all our money in our 2141 fund. That's what I'm just checking this.
Well,
Well, you got to think.
I'm glad to hear that.
We got lots
When I say that,
I'm glad to hear
this is
that.
just for the roads. The 2141, we have a balance right now of unencumbered of 28,736. Well, right there, you can do your sweeping and use that money, because that money was always used on the roads, not on equipment, but on roads. We usually only have $3,000 or $4,000
Left, yeah, okay. We're all done Durapatching.
Great.
The only question I was gonna ask, because we just happened to notice it while we were cleaning up and working on it here. This afternoon, when we got back, was the nozzle on the end of the Durapatcher. It's got all those, it's metal, it's just a metal piece about so long, and that's where the RS2 comes up from the bottom and screws into it and sprays it up through as the stone passes through it. All these little holes that are made for it, they're all wore out and elongated now, and the stone's flying out the side of it instead of
Oh,
going out.
Is it
I mean,
something
it's
you can-
13
is it-
years old.
something you can get?
Yeah, it's in stock. It's $231 with freight. It probably wouldn't exceed $261, she said. She said all these parts are going up by the first of the year,
And it's
along
something you
with
can-
freight.
Easy bolt on, couple screws.
Oh, it comes off real quick and
Okay.
easy, and
We good to do, Brian, or?
Yeah.
That's good. Trustee Carroll moves to buy a new nozzle for the Durapatcher not to
And-
exceed 275.
with that, it's ready to go for next year.
Great. Trustee Varian second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that ready to go, so you're not scrambling and
Yeah,
scrambling.
That's a
Then it's
big
back-
money saver.
Then it's
I
back
wouldn't-
ordered
Yes.
when you need it next year.
I wouldn't want that to happen now.
Good.
Now, the only thing I would ask Brian, and I don't know, being it's for the roads, the stone that I get for it every year. It's always so wet. Would it be all right to get a couple truckloads right now and have them bring it in and put it in a bin over the winter? Because every year I get it, it's so sopping wet, I can't hardly run the machine. It clogs it up inside.
What kind of one are we talking?
Usually, each load's probably somewhere around $600-700, about $700 to $800, I think.
Okay.
Because it's coming from Subtropolis,
How many,
East Fairfield.
how many loads would you want?
I'd like to have about three or four, but
How much
Even
will
if I
the
could
bin
get it.
hold?
what?
How much will the bin hold?
Oh, it'll hold probably 5-6 loads.
Brian told
But
me.
the thing
Brian
is,
told me I'd button
I
you.
fight all year long it being too wet, and you can ask Randy, I've talked to
Yeah.
him many times about this. And
Stu, what's the size of each load?
Usually they
Tonnage.
bring about 24.
Do you remember any costs on it? Because I can't, trying to look. for it.
What, it's about
Is that
28
Goat Hill?
Because I'm
25
thinking it
tons.
was only like $900 a load when you had.
I don't
26
even know if it was that.
Yeah, well, that's why I say you could get 10
was
loads, no
around-
problem. I mean, like I say, again, trustees, this is for the road. You got enough money there.
Well, if that's the
Right
case,
now.
then I'd have.
I don't want to
bring me
make it
about
sound like
4
you got
loads.
I don't want to make it sound like you got a lot of money.
No,
Because we didn't burn up all the money in the road project, you have extra money there.
Can we say we would like to get 4 loads not to exceed $3,500, $4,000?
yeah.
Is that comfortable?
Did we pay for the fire station stuff yet?
Yeah, it's all done.
Okay.
I know I've had a lot of trouble over the last couple of years, and I like that stone. It's cleaner, it's gray, it doesn't, pulverize to a powder.
Do we need to do anything with it and put it in that bin, or will it stay dry in the bin?
Oh, it'll stay dry in there, it just needs time to dry out.
Are we talking everything through Goat Hill then right now?
Yeah,
Goat Hill?
He'll be the hauler, he'll be the gravel supplier, because I usually get a bill that has
Yes.
everything together.
yes.
Okay.
All right. Trustee Varian moves to approve the purchasing of, what's the number of stone?
Number 9.
Why wouldn't you just use the account up there
Um,
and pay the hauling?
what are you talking about?
We have an account at Centropolis.
I have no idea of that, because every time I've ever bought stone, it went through Goat Hill.
Yeah, he can haul it, pay him the hauling, but he might mark it up. We have an account.
Well, he
there.
told me
Oh,
that,
I see what you're saying.
I know. He told me that it was, the last couple of years was $19 a ton. That's for the stone
And
and
the
hauling. He said it went up 50 cents this year, $19.50 a ton.
We get it broke down when we get it. We get the stone cost versus.
I'm sorry.
But it's all together on head.
It's,
I was gonna say,
It's
that's a
more
good
than
price
that.
at
no,
more
it's,
than that.
it's close to $30. It's
Yeah, that's
29.
Yeah, that's-
It's 29. It was like 29 and it's 29.50 now. That's hauling, buying it, everything. And I know,
Right.
wasn't it around $18,
$19
$19 a ton?
Just the aggregate
Right.
on the pile. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll make a motion to just make the best decision on the hauling and the purchasing between Stu and Brian. Is that all right? You guys figure it out?
That's fine.
Because we'll do it up to. All right, Trustee Ray moves to purchase 4 loads of, you called it 9s?
9, gray 9.
Gray 9s, up to 4 loads of gray 9s, not to exceed $4,000.
Trustee Puro seconds.
All in favor?
That should be plenty, Stu. If it's 800 a load, that's 3,200. So up
Right,
to 4,000 should be fine.
right.
Good.
All right, thank you. I won't ask to spend any more
You
money.
got, your time's up.
Any other questions on the road report?
Are we gonna talk about staff later?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay, we're gonna move on then. Zoning, Ms. Brocker.
Okay.
Or no?
Since the last meeting, haven't had any
Yeah, I guess.
new permits issued. Did get a phone call about property over on Osnaburg with junk vehicles and stuff kind of piling up at the old house there. So I went over and I took pictures of it, and I gotta call the owners and see what we can do about it. It looks like somebody's living in the house there and just bringing stuff in and making this, so.
Treasures.
Somebody, there was a truck there today, by the way. Down here. At the,
Over on Lucy, that was the one where they had like trash and stuff everywhere, and they had it pretty well cleaned up at the last meeting. They got it all cleaned up as far as I can tell, so that's marked off my list. And then today I finally got some time and I sent a letter to the one building over on Sunlight about their building that they don't have a permit for yet.
Okay,
And that building over on Ravenna without the permit, I just sent them another letter to see, maybe they'll reach out.
check with the prosecutor, because maybe at this point we just need to send them a bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then over on Broadway, the one with the junk vehicles, they were down to like a couple. They brought in more over the weekend, so they're back up to about 8 or so.
Just when you thought you had it.
So they disappear and then more come back.
So I reached out to the prosecutor's office, and hopefully she'll get back to me pretty soon, just see if there's any extra stuff we can do for it. Because I got an email about it today from one of the people that live around there.
Okay.
And the other one over on Ravenna there with the high grass, that's the one the health department's checking into. I haven't heard anything back about it yet. The zoning commission, they'll have their meeting in October. They'll be having their hearing for their mobile home amendment then too. And once they decide what they're doing with that, I'll bring it to you.
So we probably need to pick our date for our hearing, because you guys set it off formally, right, to regional planning?
Mhm.
So we know we're gonna have a date for a hearing. Do you remember what that date was? Theirs is October 16th. How many days do we have?
I think it was between 20 and 30 from receiving it from the commission.
Now that I'm looking at my calendar, we don't meet the 9th, do we?
Yeah,
We do meet on Columbus Day?
I think so. It's on my calendar. but
Okay, good. I didn't know if we moved that one beginning of the year.
We didn't move Columbus Day, did we, Brian?
I got, mine's on the 10th.
Mine's on the 10th too.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
It's on Tuesday.
okay, good.
Okay.
And then the following would be regular schedule. Okay. So the 23rd.
Let me go back and see, count those days again. So you're scheduled your hearing for the October 16th?
Mhm.
I believe this is in Michelle's call.
I think we're gonna have to do it on the 23rd. I don't think we can make it till, is there extra weeks in here? You said 30 days, right?
Yeah, let me go grab a paper.
30 days from,
3 days from hearing date.
that would be right. That's 16.
Or we could do it on the 13th of November.
Okay.
That's like 28 days. I think, Mary, the November 13th.
Mhm. Yeah, within 30 days.
Well, it's got to be
after-
within the 30-day
Yeah.
mark, not, okay.
So are you guys all okay with the November 13th?
We're gonna do it early.
Whatever time we want to do it. We usually stop like at 8 o'clock and do it.
Yeah, we can stop at 8 and do it, so we don't have to come early.
Yep.
It should be fairly quick, yes?
Yeah, it depends on who shows up.
Fair. Okay. Sounds good.
We said November 13th.
And do it in that meeting.
Yeah. Okay. We're still looking for members for both committees. So if you come across anyone that you think would be a good candidate, or talk to them, see if they're interested. They get paid $30 to help cover the cost of their gas driving back and forth to the meeting. I don't know that that makes it anymore.
Right, right.
It does do that, and they're doing a community service. And both committees have a lot of power. The BZA makes the decisions on variances, whether they're submitted or not, or approved. And the commission is creating the rules for the township.
Mhm.
So two important committees, so we need some more community members on there. Okay, anything else, Mary?
That's all I have right now.
All right, so moving right along, and fire's back in here. So let's jump back to 5.
Good.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go out of order because that'll be easier, I think. First is I have that list of numbers for the hose that is out of commission. We have one of those numbers for that hose. So that is all hose that was tested and failed.
These are like item numbers, like
for
property
inventory-wise.
item numbers.
Yeah, those
Okay.
are inventory numbers.
Inventory numbers. Okay.
And you took them out of your inventory?
And Dan said your hose is like, what, 6 weeks? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
The hose is like way far back.
That's actually not too bad.
Okay. Okay. I thought that was bad. Like an emergency piece of
Okay.
equipment. Like, you can wait a couple months.
Yeah, that was even switching. So we had a final number
Okay.
on the,
Can I stop you there? We're
absolutely.
gonna do the hose. I'm gonna make a resolution that we remove the hose from our inventory because the hose was deemed not usable.
Yeah, I failed post
You know,
testing.
failed
for us.
inspections, 2 sections of 4-inch, and all of the corresponding identification numbers are here. So that's my motion to remove these and deem them, I don't want to call them junk, but
Not usable.
Usable.
not usable and to be disposed of since they didn't pass test.
Trustee Varian, second.
Do we need a roll call on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have one truck left of hose to test, and we will need 2.5 inch. And I know there was still money left. We had ordered some of the hose. That was the 6,000, and we were waiting for the shipping on that. And I was curious how much of that money was left, and if we're able to spend the rest on the 2.5 that we need.
Right now, we had about 3,100 and some change, but
Okay.
I don't know the exact numbers yet.
Okay.
I did get the bill for the hose and the shipping on that hose. The total was over what was originally like approved, so I put that onto the regular fire fund, the freight and all on that.
You keep it under the approved amount.
Yeah. So I would like to look into it better to get an exact amount with freight, if they can give that to us.
All the other, yeah, for sure.
Because then we could utilize the balance of that
Okay.
money.
Okay, on the 2.5, how many feet of 2.5 do you need?
We have no spare right now. So
Okay.
essentially, when we have a fire, we'll be putting wet hose back on the truck.
Okay.
So
It
what's
looks
the
like,
length?
trustees, it looks like, and I'm looking at my unencumbered balance on that appropriation, the 2273, it looks like 2,979.43.
2,979.
Has not been assigned out.
2979.
Do they come in like 20,
50
30,
foot.
50 foot
50
lengths?
foot sections.
And you can go over it, round it up.
Yeah, you could go over because you're going to use it up.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
use it up and I can put the balance on.
You'd rather go over it than have 10 cents in there.
So I'd say shoot for $3,000.
Okay.
And you'll be over it by about 20.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's with ship. Like, we don't have a ton of extra money, so
Yeah.
that 3,000 is with shipping
okay,
and the box it comes in, right?
The shipping, I'm not paying on the rescue money, just so you know.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
coming out of general, right?
So the hose cost, get as much of that hose in that 2,970.
So you can spend
So you can
3,000.
spend-
And then
okay.
the.
So it depends on where it's coming from. If it's coming out of a local place, either they'll bring it or we can pick it up. That's.
Well, he
supply
wants you to
line was
spend
not
that
today.
full amount on
Yep.
hose alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause we need 3,000 spent on hose and then,
Okay.
Okay.
We can do that.
all right.
I did receive a resignation letter from firefighter Logan Haley.
What do we need? Hang on one second, Haley. What do we need?
Do a resolution on.
On the
that
hose.
balance, on the hose. We
Sure.
have 2,979.43 unencumbered.
2,979.40.
But you can go over that, but identify it as American Rescue money.
All right.
Okay.
Trustee Varian moves to purchase 2.5-inch hose for the fire truck. Not to exceed $3,000, not to exceed $29.79.43 of American Rescue funds on hose, and the shipping will be paid separately out of a different account.
Trustee Pure, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Haley,
I did receive a resignation letter from firefighter Logan Haley. This was right before I left for my trip, so it is through the end of this month, so it was 2 weeks. I did talk to him. He is pursuing other employment, so he does work somewhere else. And so I do have that letter from him, not with me, but, so I don't know, usually
When
What is
it
his date?
effective?
30th of this month.
September 30th.
So that will be the end of this pay period.
And then is he one that we don't have any expenses out
We
on?
have none.
Okay.
Nope, doesn't owe us anything.
Trustee Varian moves to accept the resignation of Logan Haley to be made effective September 30th.
Trustee Pure, seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The only other question I had is if we had any more thoughts about the Ohio money that we had received.
The allocation.
Yeah, it's all gonna be on work relief. It's not on premium pay, it's work relief. We already did the resolution to move it to that.
Okay,
And how I'm planning on doing it effective September 30th. I want to talk to the trustees and you, whether we do it in a little session or something that we can have to give you the ideas of how I'd like to break that down into 4 payments
okay,
in those 4 calendar quarters. And
So
my
over
ideas
a
on,
year, over a year then?
yeah,
over
over
a
a
year,
year. You
okay.
got until July of 2024.
Over 1 year?
And when I had that figured out, I am working on from January of 2020 through October of 21, we didn't pay premium pay or anything to the firefighters that were in it. There was 5 firefighters in 2020. And then there was 9 firefighters in 2021 that were on the payroll in that time. And then I haven't got to 22 and 23 yet. But I want to be fair about looking at everybody and then let you trustees and the chief talk about how you want to do this.
Gotcha.
Because I really feel the people that worked in 2020 and 21, which year was 5, those same 5 were in 21 to make 9. And those are your heat times. And then a few people got hired in 22 and 23, or 22 and 23, according to my payroll records. And what would look, I want to present it to you because that's how I'd like to do it, quarterly payments. Like the 20,000 wouldn't be just all paid out one lump sum, it'd be paid out quarterly, but pay it to the people that were here that whole time. There might be a higher amount to them. Because if you pay it out equal, I'll give you an example. I looked at on April 10th, you have 17 people. Everybody gets 4 checks for $294 bonus, or not bonus, work relief. You get it 4 times. That don't sound like a lot.
If you paid 17 people, you'd get 4 294s.
I think it's 294 and some change. I don't have that right.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay, but 4 times.
but 4 times.
So they're gonna get $1,200. Right?
Yeah, but if you do it the way I might suggest, is break the 20,000 into $4,000 or $5,000 increments for each quarter. The people who are in those quarters start from January. You're going to have 5 people get to split $5,000. The second quarter, you'll have 9 people splitting $5,000. And in the third quarter, you might have 14 people splitting 5. You follow me, trustees? That's kind of one of my suggestions, to look at that. I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but I can match reports to do that. So someone that was in here from 2020 all the way through 23, when it was over, this is work relief retention to hold down, like a reward to those people. The people that were here the whole 4 years of it get more money.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we need to talk about it before we make a decision.
We
But
have,
those people also already got premium pay.
and my report has to be due, the September 30th report would have to be due by the end of October. I'm not saying pushing that off, but it would say, like, I'd like to get it, okay, September 30th, I got to get online and start doing this. I'd like to know, in October, these next 2 meetings, so I can get it filed.
So do you want to table it until next meeting, or do you want to talk more about it now?
Yeah, I want to tell you what.
All right, we'll talk about it next meeting.
Yeah.
And there's some options we'll discuss.
But I want to distribute money in October, whether it's at the end or sometime in there to match with what we're.
The first of 4.
Yes, the first.
We'll go in October.
That's my
is the plan.
suggestion.
Okay,
Not pay it all one lump sum or anything.
okay. Well, if we spread it over 4, it truly is employee retention
Yes,
in its purest form.
yeah.
Stay with us. You get money, you stay with us. All right, great. I have 2 things before we move off of fire, before we do the run report. I've called about the ambulance. I've called Derek, the guy that's building it for us. I did not hear back from him yet, so I haven't pushed real hard, but I think I'm gonna start pushing a little harder. We should have heard by now, because they've had it longer than they told us it was gonna take to build the box. So we'll keep on that. And then also have an Advantech service bill in front of me. A couple things happened in this bill. 2 of the pumps were tested, on 254 and on 241. Those pump tests cost $240 a piece, which we had talked about that at a prior meeting.
Those are normal charges.
Those are normal service charges, yes. There's another bill on here for $1765. I'm gonna read the notes so we're all kind of in the same ballpark here. It says customer advised foam system is inoperable and leaking. Found 2 foam check valves that were bad and leaking. Found a solenoid that, if powered or jumped, it would allow the foam system to turn on correctly. So the solenoid is bad. We'll research required repair parts and give a quote to the customer as identified. They figured out what's wrong with the foam system. They did not repair the foam system. Foam system is still bad. It needs a solenoid and some valves. So that was part of this labor of finding that. The other part of this bill is customer advised that front bumper discharge valve was charging with line closed. It was requested for us to rebuild the necessary valves in order to get the unit to pass its vacuum test. So the other part of this is they had to rebuild a pump, take it off, rebuild it, and reinstall it for it to pass the $240 vacuum test, if this makes sense. So the entire bill is $2245.54. Two of these bills are just general checks and tests, and the other $1,700 of this bill is repair to get it to pass. But just so we're clear, the foam system is not fixed. So Dale Nelson told me that Advantech is going to work up a quote for the new solenoid and the valves, send it to him of cost of repair, and we'll have that. So what we have in front of us is a bill for $2245.54 for the two trucks, 254 and 241. So this is going to be a then and now. Mr. Fiscal Officer Lowry, I don't know exactly where you're going to pull these funds from.
I'm looking, I mean, the fire fund, we got that last part of our real estate. We have more money there, but I did the math. I was able to figure it out earlier this week once I got that funds in there, just depending on how we end up these next few months.
Mm-hmm.
There's barely enough funds there, but we can get it.
Okay.
I might take it out of two funds.
Okay. All right. Trustee Berrien moves to make a motion for a then and now for Advantech Services and Parts out of Mid-Vale, Ohio, for the cost of $2,245.54 to test two pumps on 254 and 241 and repair the pump on 241.
Trustee Bureau second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hope that was not
What was
money.
the total amount? I know I gave that.
$2245.54. And I'll hand it back. I can give it back to you.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll bring the repair of the foam system as soon as I get it. You want to do run calls?
22 calls, 20 ALS calls, 2 fire calls, 1 assist from Louisville. We hesitant to even say we had slowed down a little bit.
I was going to say that's
We've
slow.
literally dropped 3 calls since I've been here. Disregard.
Disregard the slow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief.
All right. Nothing else for fire. We are at Old Township business. I don't really have any. New Township business. And I see on Mr. Piero's computer that we received the invitation to the Hope Senior Village ribbon cutting dedication. So the electric panel came in
Oh, good.
and it was hooked up, but they wouldn't approve the electric because the commercial washer and dryers, which we had to put commercial in the clubhouse, are still back ordered. And so we hooked up the electric panel, but they still couldn't give us approval. So then they went and found some rental washer and dryers. They had to be the commercial size. So they're renting them now and have put them in there while we're waiting for the new ones to come. Then they was able to come back, test electric, and approve.
I don't know who you call for a rental commercial washer and dryer.
Yeah.
In fact, call a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. So it's the 10th.
It's the 10th at 10 and 10. That's a Tuesday morning at 10.
Okay.
Coffee, donuts, cookies.
It's the same day as our meeting. So we have a Tuesday meeting that week.
We
Yeah.
do that night.
They
Yeah.
have to close.
Yep.
And I'll have a couple units open for people to go in and see. A couple residents have volunteered.
Oh, that's
their
great.
units.
And they want you to RSVP by the 6th. You're coming.
Oh, yeah, RSVP. I think it's just to tell us how much
How many donuts to buy?
drinks and Kona, yeah, how much stuff we need. So, but I will say everything looks like it's going well. The road that was put in doesn't appear to be a cut through at all. I've not had anyone complain. I haven't seen anybody cutting through. So glad that worked out.
They're all full now.
Oh, they've been all full.
I knew that you had them all.
There's a waiting list of 150 or 140 people.
Wow.
and the Louisville one has a waiting list of 90. So there's.
So does
really
that
large
mean
waiting list.
phase 2 is in the works because there's so many people or not
Well, the state
necessarily?
asked us if instead of doing individual condo homes, if we would put up another 40 units.
No.
But the county is telling us there's no sewer capacity at this point. And so they're they're smoke testing some houses in East Canton right now. They're trying to get stuff out of the sewer to get some capacity. But I'm sort of sitting on the fence on that one because I think the county has an obligation to expand the sewer capacity, which they could. I don't know that this area of the county should be held back from development because we don't have sewer capacity. It seemed kind of a wrong statement, but so right now we're just sitting on it. Even if we do apply for that, it's like a minimum 2-year process. Depending on what time of year you hit, it could be at least 3 years. It's not a short, it's a long time frame. So that's where we're at with that. So we're just sitting on it, thinking about it. So with that, any other new business?
When it comes to road.
Okay. So with that, Mr. Peer was going to call an executive session, but before they do that, I'd like to have a motion to pay bills. And when we finish with executive session, there'll be no action.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Pierre moves to go into executive session at 8:17 for personal matters. This refers to appointment, employment, demotion, compensation of public employee or official, or investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual.
Trustee Varian second.
Roll call.
Varian.
Yep.
Puro.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes. Okay, so you are free to leave, and remember, this is a record-setting night. You
That's
can thank me later.
right.
You're all here, so there's nobody that you can say. if they're-
There's no one we can say like,
Mhm.
oh, if that Varian was gone, we'd really go through it. You think you can get that hose first?
Yeah, I know, well,
Maybe because we had Brian so busy, it's usually Brian.
Yeah.
Usually not him.
Oh, so we can just.
You can.
Just shut up.
Section.
We're done.
Okay, good.
Anybody on it?
Yeah, there was 4.